Hi guys, it's Connie again, and the last video got a little long, so I decided to break it up into two videos. So in this one we're going to talk about the rest of what happened during my friend's trip to see me and our trip out to the ranch, and then I'm going to end by telling you about all the cool things that will be yours if you join my Patreon. It's my new page that I just put up, and I want to make it beneficial for all. So if you give $5 a month or more, there will be some great things that I plan to do in the future, and so stay tuned for that. And also I'm going to talk about upcoming topics that I want to do in future videos, including I cannot wait till our next trip to Nashville to see my brother, to show you all the sights there in Music City, and not to mention the awesome condo that he owns, where he lives, and he has many instruments that would be so fun to show you, even his international collection, which includes instruments from all over the world. So I don't know when we're going there, but hopefully sometime soon, and then maybe in the next year or so. But also there's a lot of other topics I'll be talking about in future videos, and I will put some of them in the rest of this, so stay tuned. And now I'm going to tell you the rest about our trip, and then we'll go from there. Thanks. Anyway, so the next day then we played Rack-O, which is a cool game. I don't think I found that one in Braille. I just brailled on the cards. And so Lavette had not played that before, or Jim. Laura had played it with me once a couple months ago, but it's a fairly easy game to learn, and where you have to have this rack that you put your cards in, and just whatever random order you're given the cards is the order they go in the rack. But then the object of the game is to eventually get your cards in order from lowest to highest. They don't have to be consecutive, but they do have to be in order. So like you discard a card every time, and you can either take one from the discard pile or draw a card, and then you have to put that in the place in your rack where you took out the card that you wanted to get rid of, and you just do that one at a time until you see who the first one is to get theirs in order. So it's pretty cool. I learned it, my brothers learned it when they were just little kids, because Kim and I would teach them all of our card games and stuff as we learned them. Lavette really enjoyed our kitty cat out there, Garfield. He was really friendly to her because he hadn't had much company all week as our caretakers were on vacation, so he was kind of lonely for some friendship, and just really got attached to Lavette. And then he got in the house before we left, so we had to make sure he was no longer in there before we took off. He tends to do that, and we don't want them in the house much because of my son's allergies and everything. And on the way back we listened to some of the old CDs that my mom had in the car. We don't usually listen to CDs in there because usually my son just has it hooked up to his Bluetooth speaker or Bluetooth on his phone, so he just has access to all that kind of music. And so because CDs are kind of becoming obsolete, and so it was kind of like a flashback in time to listen to some of those old CDs that Mom liked to listen to, some of her Southern gospel music. And there's one in there of Rory and Reed and their friend Jamie doing a jam. That was like one she played all the time back in the day, so we heard some of that, and that was kind of cool. And then we had supper at Perkins that night. And then the next day Oh, talking about CDs, I was going to say that we got a couple CDs from my friends, Jim and Laura, the Travelers, as they are known, their musical outreach. And I had a couple back in the day, but of course I don't play CDs much anymore, so I'm not sure where they ended up. But now Lavette is going to digitize them for both me and for Jim and Laura. She can just put them in Dropbox for us, whatever. So it'd be really handy to have a digitized copy now. And the next day, Jim gave us a ride to the airport. And I had to say goodbye to Lavette, and the time sure went by in a hurry. And she got to meet the people that raised her guide dog, which is pretty cool, though, because she had a layover and was able to meet up with them. And she hadn't met them before, so they got to see the dog that they had raised as a puppy in action now, and that was pretty cool. And so the house is pretty quiet now, getting back into the routine. My son was gonna he had figured out how to adapt his shrimp scampi recipe without using butter. He was gonna use like coconut oil and different things like that. But then Lavette was already gone when he got home, so that was disappointing. Because she hadn't gotten to see him very much because it was so hot last week that, of course, my son was kept really busy with his HVAC work, working on air conditioners and such, and then he was really tired when he would get home at night. But we did have a good time while she was here for sure, and since then I've just been catching up on everything, and I do have my Patreon page created now. So it's just very basic. I don't really think I'll probably do too much more to it in the foreseeable future, because it's just mainly a place for people to contribute if they would like to support what I'm doing. And I'll try to remember to put a link in the description of this video as well. But the link is patreon.com. That's patreon.com/glidingthroughblindness. So of course there's no spaces or anything. That's just the website. And I talked a little bit last time about what some of the possible benefits of joining my Patreon might be. It might include me interviewing some of you all, or you guys doing a question and answer session with me, like a live Zoom call, or even just a live YouTube where I could read your, or we might discuss a book that we all have read, or discuss current events, or do a talent show or something like that, where we all just share music or reading poetry or whatever we feel competent that we want to share with the group. But every month I want to do something special just for people who pay $5 or more to join. And it's pretty self-explanatory on the page. You can do it with PayPal. And so I really hope some of you will join me on my journey here, because this is pretty much what I do now, since I am not doing much transcription anymore due to AI kind of taking that over, which I talked about on other videos. And I just really love working on this channel, but it is a lot of work. And I just really appreciate anything you can do to help me out. I mean, I can't imagine how much time it takes for people that do this professionally. And so I've heard other people say it's only about the price of a Starbucks. So just sacrifice a coffee one day and contribute to my channel instead. That would be one way of looking at it. But just to come up with ideas and write out all my notes so that I don't just ramble on endlessly takes a lot of forethought. I usually do several drafts and sometimes multiple recordings too before I get it right. And then Of course, these video clips have to be listened to and put into the right order and all that type of thing. It's kind of like, I'm sure most things really take a lot longer behind the scenes than the part that the public sees. Like, there's the same thing with our music ministry. A whole lot went into that. Like, people just assume, oh, you just get up there for an hour and play music. That sounds like a pretty easy job to me, but there's a whole lot more that goes into it that you just don't see if you're not part of the inner workings of it. So I've learned a lot for sure as I've done this more and more. And then of course I have promoted to various groups and stuff and read all your lovely comments, which I really appreciate all your feedback. But it's just keeping track of all the places where I might have posted it and making sure I don't miss anything, because I really value your input, and I hope that you will all continue to comment on the YouTube page as well, because then it shows up. The more people of you that comment on YouTube, the more it shows it to new people, which is pretty cool. And I'm getting back to my normal schedule now. Hopefully every 2 or 3 days I'll put something up for you all, and there's still a whole lot of topics out there that I want to get to soon. Like, I know I left off telling you about my childhood, and I want to get back to that story. There's a whole lot to tell about my young adult and just early life and continuing on through my history. And I also will probably share with you what I've learned about investing, just the basics of like how it actually works, because I know before I really got into it, there was just a lot I didn't quite understand until I actually started doing it, and just how your money can grow and things like that. And I want to do a lot more about AI and robotics and the crazy future that lies in store, and how it will influence every arena of society, and how we can prepare for that and be thinking about it, and different opinions that people have about it. And I might also do some like piano lessons sometime, or that might be part of the Patreon channel, or maybe just for specific members. If you like give above and beyond or something, I might give you some private lessons, like either music theory or lessons about technology or some of the apps I use, or like how to use a smartphone, preferably Android because that's what I have, or on the computer, preferably Windows because that's what I have. So that would be what I'm most familiar with, or teaching Braille if people are interested in learning that, or just who knows what all might happen here. And also some game websites. I could do some videos on that, or websites I use for shopping, and answer people's questions about that. I'm always open to suggestions, either for my Patreon or for just my regular YouTube channel, like questions for topics of what to cover in upcoming videos. And I'm gonna be hopefully visiting my sister sometime in the fall. It would be really cool if I had a Glide device, at least as a beta tester, for that, because then I could navigate through the airport with it and all that good stuff. I was just really thinking about things that I did before I got my Meta glasses, and how cool it would have been to have the glasses like on the cruise that we went to about a year ago. That was a lot of fun, and I might be able to dig up some videos that other like friends have taken or whatever, and put some of those on my YouTube channel, even though they might not be the same quality or whatever, but it'll just give you an idea of some of the adventures I had, and some of our family concerts that we don't get to do too much anymore, but every now and then, like we did one on the cruise ship, which is really cool. My family got to, my siblings and I, so I think there's a recording of that out there. And I also want to do some more experimenting with the GPS apps when we're not in emergency mode, like what 3 words, and just Google Maps, and explain to you more about how those work once I'm more proficient at them myself, which is the first step, because there just isn't that many places around here to walk to, so I haven't done as much of that yet as I hope to in the days ahead. And of course there's some airport tips that I could share with you all as well. I do have another YouTube channel out there that's not very active right now, but in case some of you run into that, I hope you don't confuse it with this one. I'm not even going to tell you the name because I don't want you to get confused. But that has some of my brother's music on it, and I also have a Facebook page, a fan page of Rory's. If any of you are interested, you can go to fb.com for facebook.com/Rory Story. That's RORYSTORY. If you're interested in learning more about him and his musical career and all that. But to find this channel, you would search for Gliding Through Blindness, so I hope you will all do that. And then I usually go to the videos tab, and then it's a lot easier. Like if you're on a computer, you can just hit H for heading and go to the see what the various videos are and see which ones you may have missed. But I'm going to draw this to a close for now, and I hope you will all like and subscribe, and really do appreciate it. The fact that we're over 100 members now, 113 the last time I checked, of subscribers to this channel, and I just really appreciate that because I've only been doing this a couple months. And so keep spreading the word, and I'm just so honored that you like what I'm doing so far, and hope